Hey guys, hope you're doing very well. In today's video we are going to talk about tattoo reference photos and then getting the tattoos. This video again would not be possible without my subscribers. I asked in my Facebook group if anyone was willing to volunteer their reference photos and then how their tattoo come out. The idea for this video come about when I was talking to one of my subscribers, Jen, and she was talking about like reference photos and then getting their tattoo and stuff. I was like, oh my god, I should totally do a video about this. I personally haven't used any reference photos since I got my pin-up tattoo. I normally just give tattoo artists an idea. I'm just like, I would like this, this and this, and then I just let them do whatever they like. So say for like my alien tattoo, I kind of told Sam Whitehead I want an alien and a UFO. The rest is up to you. I'm kind of like that person. I'm not very descriptive unless I have like a set idea in my mind, which is very, very, very rare. The last set idea that I had was my pizza pin-up tattoo from Danny Cuepo. This little baby that gets hidden quite a bit because it's like becoming cold, or you can't even see it anymore. I'll post a photo up here somewhere. But yeah, I sent him I think 2 or 3 reference photos and then my idea, but I still told him he can have creative freedom and that the reference photos were just kind of like a broad idea type thing. So I also thought it would be a good idea to do a video like this so you guys can see, you know, what happens when you send an artist a reference photo and then they put their own creative spin on it. It's absolutely fascinating and I'm honestly so excited for this video. I got a lot of submissions as always, but I think this has been my most popular post. I think I have had about 300 comments. So obviously I'm not going to get around to every single one in this video, so I just want to apologise to everyone that has submitted a reference photo and how their tattoo turned out. I may do more videos like this because I think it's quite fascinating, and like I've had a little scroll through and it's mind-blowing to see how each different style, you know, interprets like a reference photo. So with like realism, it's kind of true to the photo, which is, you know, that's how realism is, you know, it has to be realistic. But then you look at like traditional or line work tattoos and you look at the reference photo, it's just like, whoa, like the artist has done such a good job creating something completely unique. Love it. So this is like really fascinating for me and hopefully you guys will enjoy looking at these photos also. So this is Holly's tattoo and she had 2 reference photos. The tattoo that she had for inspiration is this line work Lana Del Rey tattoo, which is very cute. And then this is the photo that she wanted to be turned into a line work Lana Del Rey tattoo. And then this is how her tattoo turned out, which I think is absolutely awesome. It's definitely a mashup of the inspiration and the photo, and then, you know, a bit of the artist's creative techniques and stuff like that. I love that. This is how you do references, okay? This is how you do it. It's definitely not like tattoo copying or anything like that. Like, this is a good way of doing it. You can use other people's tattoos as references without a doubt. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure it is not completely changed, but changed enough to make it unique to you. So the next one I want to talk about is a realism one, and this is from Amy, and she said this is of her best friend Kalani when she was 6 months old. Fuck me, I love dogs so much. I can't even, like, oh, I love dogs. So as we can see, we have an adorable Dalmatian there, and that was Amy's reference photo. But then if we look at the tattoo that she got, it's pretty much exactly the same, but there's definitely a bit more artistic flair to it, if that makes any sense. Like, but if we look at the tattoo, we can see that it's pretty much identical, and it really does capture Kalani's cuteness and facial structure and, you know, little details, especially with the collar and stuff. And all the like the spots are pretty much the same too. Like, there's a lot of detail within this that is in the reference photo. And like I say, with realism you want it to be as realistic as possible, so it's always good to have a very high detailed reference photo with a realism tattoo. The next one I want to talk about is from Megan, and she sent over 3 reference photos, which is completely okay. If you need to send 3 reference photos to a tattoo artist, that is fine, obviously, because then you're giving them as much detail as possible and you'll get the tattoo that you want. So the first reference photo she sent is this one. It's like a heart squiggly line situation. And then the next one is of a fine detailed roses and flowers, I think. And then the next reference photo is, I don't know what language that is. I think it's Korean. I could be wrong. And then this is how her tattoo turned out. As you can see, it's got every single element in there that she wanted, but it has created a completely unique tattoo for her. I love that. I love this mashup. It's so creative if you think about it, because like it is quite a, I don't mean this in a bad way, it is quite a simple tattoo, but when you look at all the reference photos, it's like, I don't know, it's just so cool, like how it's been broken down but then created into one tattoo. And I don't know, I'm fascinated by this kind of thing. I could do this all day. The next one I want to talk about is from Jasmine, and her reference photo is a illustrative, I would say, a splash of watercolour fox tattoo here with a bow and arrow. Very unique. And then this is how her actual tattoo turned out. It is completely different from the reference, but it's still got all the little elements, if that makes any sense. So we've still got like the little bow and arrow, we've got the little hat there, but the fox is in a completely different position. The style of the tattoo is also quite different. It's a little bit more artsy, I would say, compared to the reference photo. And again, this is how you take someone else's tattoo and make it your own. You give it to a tattoo artist and say, hey, I really like this, but please, like, you know, change it a little bit for me. And this is what you get. Trust me, trust your artist. I know it sucks when you see a tattoo online and you're like, oh my god, I want that, I should have thought of that first. But I promise you, you will get something similar but more unique to you. Okay, the next one I'm going to pick is from Laura, and she sent through 2 reference photos, and one is an actual photo and one is a photo of someone else's tattoo. So the first one we've got here is a hand one, and it's just like holding a penny type thing, which is pretty cool. And then her second reference photo is, I don't know what it is. I'm not sure what that is. Is it like sage or something? Or crystals? I don't know. I don't know. I'm so sorry. It's very nice anyway. But this is how her tattoo turned out. So you can see both elements within this tattoo, with the hand and then the hand holding something. And then we've got some little flowers at the bottom there, which is a cool touch, and the ring. I like that touch also. And again, this is a good way of doing things. So you can use someone else's tattoo as a little section as a reference and then use an actual photo. So this is a good way of mashing it up and getting what you like, and then the artist knows, you know, how you want the hand to be or how you want the crystals, you know, tied together or whatever. You can use little elements like that if you're not very good at explaining things like me. It's always good to get a photo and say, I really like this element, can you tie that in within my tattoo? Again, like reference photos can help you in so many ways, so yes. Okay, the next one from Amelia is quite interesting, and she left a little comment and I kind of want to read it out because it is very interesting. So she said, when I went in for the consultation, I didn't have a reference picture. I just said I wanted to cover the space and that I wanted a girl who was sewing, holding an embroidery hoop. The artist didn't really know what that was, so he asked for some pictures of poses of girls holding one, so I sent him a few. This was the one he ended up basing the tattoo on, and as you can see, it's quite a interesting drawing. Well, I think it's a painting, right? It's not a photo. It doesn't look like a photo, it looks like an art piece. And then if we look at how Amelia's tattoo turned out, it is completely different from the painting, but it still kind of looks like the painting. But because it's in a completely different style, I mean, you would never put the two together. I absolutely love that, how the artist has just taken that and been like, oh, now I know what you mean, and drawn something up that's kind of different. I love that. Oh, the next one I have to talk about because it is the season. Oh, you can't see my pumpkin behind me and my bright green goblin goo candle just flickering in the back there, but it is the spoopy season. I'm trying to think of Halloween videos that's tattoo related. It's kind of hard. I'll obviously do videos dedicated to Halloween tattoos and stuff like that, but I have to mention this one because it's a season. Anyway, so this is from Carly, and she sent over her reference photo. As we can see here, it's a pumpkin with a witch, and the witch is licking a pumpkin lollipop, and the witch has a witch's hat thing. And then if we look at her tattoo, it's like completely different. The way that the pumpkin is situated is different, the witch is completely different, the hat is different. This one has like smoky cauldron bubble things going on. Yeah, it's just completely fascinating how an artist can make something that's the same look so different. I love that. Okay, the next one I have to talk about because this tattoo is from one of my favourite tattoo artists and it is on one of my subscribers. And I mentioned this tattoo in a monthly favourites video a while back. And this is from Anya, I hope I'm saying her name right. And she got tattooed by Isna Barbosa and she got a Wonder Woman tattoo. And tattooing characters or people, it's hard to make them look different because if you make it look too different, it's not going to look like the character or the person. Do you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes realism or neo-traditional portraits that are of famous people or characters end up looking the same. There is really not much you can do when it comes to stuff like that, but we all know Isna Barbosa's work is absolutely flawless, absolutely unique. Like his own style can make anything look different, you know. So let's look at a couple of Anya's reference photos. So the first one here, we kind of have like a drawing or a digital art version of Wonder Woman, and then we have a still from the film, and again we have another still from the movie, and then we have the finished tattoo, and it just like blows my mind. It is so good. The colour palette in this is amazing, the details, just the style of it. I'm a big fangirl of his work, obviously. But again, this is how you can make a portrait tattoo look very unique. You can go to an artist that specialises in doing something completely creative if you're into that kind of thing. If not, it's understandable. The next one I have to choose again because it is very spoopy and there's a lot of reference photos. The way that this has come out is amazing. When you see the reference photos and then the final product, it's so cool how the artist has put it all together. Oh yeah, this is from Natasha. I don't think I said that. This is from Natasha, and the first reference photo is of a ghost surrounded by flowers, and she's got these like little dainty legs and this bow. That is obviously someone else's tattoo, and then there is a ambulance just screaming. And then the second reference photo is again something a little bit similar when it comes to having like a sheet-like ghost and then some legs. And then another reference photo is of a ghost holding a pumpkin or a jack-o'-lantern, whatever you would like to call it, and I believe this is like a patch you sew onto a jacket. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like. And then all those reference photos and an artist's creativity come up with this as a final tattoo. Like, mind blown how you could take all those reference photos and then create something so awesome. I love this tattoo so much. I love how autumnal it is and how Halloweeny it is. Honestly, this is the kind of tattoo I would love to have myself. Obviously I won't because it's someone else's. But okay, the next one again is quite fascinating to me, and this is from Amanda, and she left a few comments for me and I'm going to read them. So for the reference, she said, I wanted something that was a mixture between my girls' middle names Rose and Paige, but asked for colour and something sharper. As we can see here in the reference photo, it is a rose made out of pages, which is so cool. I like that idea. But this is how her tattoo turned out. She said she knew and explained that the writing on the rose I found would never last, nor would it look good the size I was hoping for. She came up with a lightly coloured origami rose. I love it because it's not obvious to what it is, but still looks good. I love that. To me, now we know the backstory, it is kind of obvious to me that it is paper, but I love that idea of how she wanted to have a mixture of names, which is quite a personal tattoo. She saw this tattoo, was like, okay, I want something like that, but the artist was like, that ain't gonna work, honey, and then made a completely unique tattoo for Amanda. I love that so much. It's completely different, but it's taken an element from a tattoo that she liked. Next one that I want to talk about is from Lottie, and she has a hand-drawn reference, which is hella cool. I wish I could do hand-drawn references, but I mean, if you've seen my drawing tattoos from memory, it's probably best not that I do that, so yeah. But Lottie has some drawing skills here, and her reference photo is of a really cute flamingo, some fruit and a flower. And then this is how Lottie's tattoo turned out. It has all the elements that she wanted. The positions are a little bit different, so the fruit is in front of the flamingo instead of behind it, which I quite like that idea. You get to see it a little bit more. I think it's just so cool how someone's vision gets done, but then the artist has put their own little spin on it and said, actually, I think this would work a little bit better if we put this in front of this, and changed it around a little bit to, you know, work better as a tattoo. I love that. That's so cool to see that process. The next one I want to talk about is from Billy, and this again is quite an interesting one. And she said, my artist posted a flash sheet and I saw a design that wanted added to. So I sent her a quick sketch of how I'd like it to look. My tattoo is in the replies. So as you can see here on the left hand side is what the artist would have posted as a flash tattoo, and then Billy kind of sketched up her own little thing to send to the artist and say, hey, can we just change it a little bit? And then this is how the tattoo turned out. I love that so much. So yeah, that is the last one for today. I'm so sorry I couldn't get around to all of them. I tried to keep it as varied as possible, and yeah, I would love to revisit this post, so hopefully you guys like this video. And yeah, I hope you guys are all doing very well, and until my next video, bye.